Ciao and welcome. It is a special day today as it is Tortellino's first birthday. Yes, we've been going for 365 days and I will be doing something a little bit more special, being in the Christmas spirit. And this is something that generally is cooked for Christmas Eve or indeed Christmas Day, or also some people do it for New Year's Eve. Also, I wanted to say thank you very much to all of you who have subscribed to the channel and continue to engage and give me lots of support. When I set up Tortellino back a year ago, the purpose was twofold really. Number one, to share Italian food and anyone who wishes to learn how to cook and do something different. But more importantly, what is close to my heart is the younger generation and to make sure that people can share some of the recipes with their children or grandchildren and help the younger generation cook from a younger age, something that I'm really deeply passionate about. And a big thank you to Hayley, who told me yesterday that she cooked the gnocchi with a child, 9-year-old, and that made my day because quite clearly that is exactly the sort of thing I would like to do more and more, to get children and younger people involved in the kitchen. So thank you, Hayley. And before I start, I'll just show you the number of subscribers I've got so far here on my telephone. 1,751 as of today.
Well done.
To me, that is an achievement. I know that lots of channels have got millions and hundreds of thousands of subscribers, but I set myself no expectations. I thought if I did reach 1,000 by the end of year one, I would have been great. I got 751 more than what I thought, so thank you very much. But of course, if you want to subscribe, just go ahead. I'm not going to stop you. So let's make a start. I'll be doing a glazed pork loin today, and I've got something which I've defrosted earlier. So because it's been defrosted, it's still releasing some water, and I want to make sure that it's totally dry before I start. Of course, if you use something fresh, you might not have this problem, but if, like me, you're defrosting something, go ahead and make sure that it's as dry as you can get it. Despite looking quite sophisticated, this is actually a very simple and easy to make recipe, and it consists of a little marinade which goes on top of the pork when it cooks, but also there will be a topping which I'll do separately and a little sauce. So I'll start with the marinade, and I'm going to be using a couple of the set spoons of brown sugar, followed by the same quantity in mustard.
What sort of mustard, John?
This is whole grain mustard. And you can also use Dijon mustard if you like. Most probably is better or more suitable, but I prefer the whole grain mustard. Choice is entirely up to you. A couple of medium-sized cloves of garlic. I will be crushing them into the marinade, so I'm removing the peel. And I will add them in now. By the way, this is a good time to turn the oven on. I'm going to turn the oven on ready on a temperature of 190 degrees. Mine is a fan oven. You can up a little bit by maybe 10 or 20 degrees if it's a normal conventional oven, ready for the pork. I always like to leave the oven until the last moment because electricity is very expensive, so I'm timing it. They should be pretty much on time. I will be using fresh rosemary as I've got a great big plant outside, but if you do not have access to fresh rosemary, you can also use the dry stuff. And as it is, I'll peel it off, and I don't need to chop it, and I'll put it in with the rest of the ingredients. I do break it up a little bit with your hands, by the way. Olive oil, a couple of the set spoon, again, will be fine. Same quantities pretty much as the mustard and what did we use, the sugar. And I'll finish off with some salt and pepper. A little bit more pepper than salt. I think I need a little bit more olive oil. I was a little bit mean.
Bit stingy with
I was
the
a little
oil.
bit stingy today. So make it 2 tablespoons instead of 2 spoons.
Oh my gosh, it smells lovely.
Oven dish, make sure that it's big enough for your joint. And my joint today is only 750 grams. You can obviously make it bigger or smaller, and you can adjust all of your ingredients proportionally. And quite simply, I'll put everything on top of my joint, and I'll make sure that my marinade covers the entire surface, both top and bottom. And ensure that some of your rosemary is also at the bottom and some is at the top. This will ensure that some of the flavor rises and it retains all of its flavor, even if the one on the top is likely to burn a little. And it is ready to go in the oven. I'll put it in for 1 hour and a quarter, as I said, 190 degrees. In the meantime, I'll crack on with the other sauces and the topping. But first of all, I just peeled and chopped an apple, and I'm actually chopping it in relatively big chunks so that they're visible once the topping is on top of my pork. Key ingredient for this recipe is cranberries, and today I will be using some fresh cranberries, and these are 100 grams. However, should you not be able to get hold of the fresh stuff, you can use the dry cranberries, but reduce the weight by 40%. So in this particular case, if I was to use the dry cranberries, I would be using 60 grams. That will give you a very similar outcome, but fresh is always best, of course. And I'm ready to make the topping, so I'll start with a little batter in a pot. Once the batter has melted, I'm going to add my cranberries, followed by the chopped apple. Another very important ingredient for the festive flavor, cinnamon. I'm going to get a little pinch, if you can come in, Julie, to show. Not a lot really, just the match will be perfect, look.
It's a good half teaspoon to me.
Yes, and goes in. And I will follow the cinnamon with some nutmeg as well. Quantities to taste, but I will be fairly generous.
Yeah, we like nutmeg.
And I hope you haven't put the sugar away, the brown sugar, as you're going to need another dessert spoon to go in as well. And that is the last ingredient for my topping. And I'm going to give this a good stir, and I'll leave it to cook now for a good 10 minutes. So medium temperature is fine, medium low actually, number 4. I'll put the lid on, remember, keep it nice and low, number 4, 10 minutes. So I've marinated the pork, also I've made the topping, and I'm now going to be working on the glaze, which is the sauce, and it's a beautiful apple cider glaze. And Julie will be pleased because she loves cider, so I'm going to open a bottle of cider, if I can get around to do it. There you go. And I'm measuring now 150 milliliters. I've got my glasses on.
Do you want me to have a look?
Yes, please. See, Julie, she took the mickey out of me the other day because I was weighing some fluid using the scales. That's because I can't see very well, so I'm having to put some back. This is 200, I need 150.
Oh no, it'll have to just go in that glass
Oh,
ready
dear.
for me to sip on. Just a little.
Just a little bit more. Perfect. That was the most difficult job of all. Anyway, that goes in a different saucepan now. Have you still got the brown sugar out? You will need another heaped dessert spoon of it, and goes in.
Gosh, there's quite a lot of sugar in this recipe, isn't there? But then
Well,
again,
it's
it's
Christmas.
Christmas. Yeah, it's Christmas.
This is balsamic vinegar, and I will also add a good dessert spoon of it, followed by another heaped dessert spoon of mustard. There.
Is that nice?
I absolutely love mustard. Grain mustard is my favorite. Anyway, let's move back to the hob. I've just put it on the hob, and I will make sure that the first thing I do is to dissolve the mustard
And the sugar, I guess.
and the sugar.
Oh, I can smell the cider now.
And as soon as it starts boiling, I'll turn the temperature down to medium, and I'll continue whisking it or mixing it with my spoon until I get a lovely and glossy glaze. In the meantime, let's check to see what is going on here. Oh, looking good.
It smells lovely.
Smells wonderful. A few more minutes and this will be ready. Okay, so exactly 1 hour and 15 as planned, and the meat has been resting now for a good 10 minutes. And by the way, I checked it 30 minutes before I took it out, and it was beginning to look a little bit trigger happy in terms of brownness. So for the last half an hour, also covered with some tin foil. Depends how powerful your oven is, you might want to do the same. But the most important thing, of course, is that you don't burn it, but also that it rests for a good 10 minutes.
Lovely.
And of course, having rested, it should be easier to slice. So I will move it into a chopping board over here. There is still the string attached, so I'm going to be removing it next. Perfect.
The smell of rosemary is lovely.
And my recommendation would be that you do fairly chunky slices with this one, no less than 1 centimeter really, so that you can get a good portion. And look, it's looking
Lovely.
perfect. An hour and 15 is the ideal time, even if you do a larger piece, but obviously if it's chunkier then you might have to cook it for longer, but make sure that it stays nice and moist in the middle.
Loving that squeaky.
There. And it's Christmas after all, so I will use a nice little gold plate. There we go.
Ooh, lovely. And now we get to see what we do with all the other pieces.
Indeed. So here's my glaze, and if you look, it's lovely and smooth. So I'll just start with that first, and I'll put some at the bottom here, just to make it look beautiful. Wonderful. And here is my topping, and it smells absolutely lovely, by the way. And, I'll go firstly on the side as well, and the rest can go on top of my pork. Back to my sauce, and whatever is left, I will just pour it on top of the remaining of the pork now. And there it is looking absolutely beautiful.
It is, it smells lovely too.
And I'm now going to show you what we're going to be having with our pork. I've just finished baking some potato alla pizzaiola. Here they are. There will be a separate video which will show you how to make these, and it will not be immediately out, but once it is out I will add it up here, so you'll be able to find it by clicking up here, but also it will be a link at the end of this particular video. A couple of days or so, enough time to edit it, but they will be going alongside that, and perfect combination.
Oh, got to have that piece on the end.
Oh, here?
Him, yes.
Okay. I'm gonna get Julie to try first, even if she's holding the camera.
Oh my lord.
You good?
Do you know what? It's lovely. It's actually, obviously it did have sugar in it, so it's got a sweetness to it, but oh, the flavours, the cranberry especially, and then the spices.
I'll
lovely.
give it a shot then, shall I?
Yeah, I would.
It's wonderful, buonissima, absolutely delicious, and very, very tender too. It's a really, really nice, and a special occasions ideal thing to cook. If you make it, let me know how you get on, and I'm sure that you will love it. Thank you for watching once again, and until next time, arrivederci. Ciao ciao!